The prison of worry. Imagine lying awake at night. The room is dark, the world is quiet, yet your mind is anything but calm. Thoughts race endlessly. What if I lose my job? What if I get sick? What if I fail? The mind invents monsters out of shadows, chains us to fears that haven't even happened, and steals the peace of the present moment. This is the prison of worry. And for centuries, Stoic philosophers have taught us how to break free. Setting the stage. Ancient lives, modern fears. We often think of worry as a modern disease, born of emails, deadlines, and constant notifications. But anxiety is nothing new. In the streets of ancient Rome, people fretted about plague, poverty, political upheaval, betrayal, and sudden death. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, were not speaking from ivory towers. They lived under emperors who could end lives with a nod. They lived with wars at their borders, plagues in their cities, and enemies in their own households. And yet, they cultivated a mindset that freed them from the grip of worry. What they discovered was profound. Worry is not caused by the world, but by the mind's interpretation of the world. The nature of worry. Shadows of the mind. Worry is anticipation of misfortune. It is the fear of tomorrow stealing from today. It is the mind rehearsing tragedies before they occur. Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." A plague is real, hunger is real, death is real, but the sleepless night spent imagining every possible disaster, that is worry. It multiplies suffering. We experience pain once in reality, but worry forces us to experience it 1,000 times in imagination. The Stoics understood that worry thrives on illusion. Like shadows at dusk, our fears appear larger and darker than they truly are. Worry is a trick of the mind, convincing us that by obsessing over the future, we can control it. But control is the key word here. The dichotomy of control. Two realms. At the heart of Stoic teaching is one principle. There are things within our control and things beyond it. What belongs to us? Our thoughts, our judgments, our choices, our actions. What does not belong to us? Wealth, health, reputation, the opinions of others, the outcome of fortune. Worry often comes from confusing these two realms. We waste hours fretting about the weather, about whether someone will like us, about whether tomorrow will bring gain or loss. But the Stoic asks, does this belong to me? Is it truly within my control? If it is, act. If it is not, release. Seneca put it bluntly, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. To stop worrying, we must train ourselves to place events into their proper category. The mind must become a judge, separating what is truly ours from what belongs to fate. Hard lessons. Stories of worry. To the Stoics, philosophy was not theory, but practice, and their lessons often came wrapped in suffering. Epictetus was born a slave. His body was broken by cruelty, yet he taught freedom of the mind. When a fellow slave fretted over punishment, Epictetus reminded him, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself can control my will." Seneca served as an advisor to Nero, one of history's most volatile emperors. At any moment, he could be ordered to die, and indeed, he eventually was. Yet he wrote essays on tranquility, urging readers not to fear what has not yet arrived. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, lost several children in his lifetime, faced wars on multiple borders, and ruled during plague. Yet in his meditations, he wrote not of despair, but of discipline. Do not let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Stick with the situation at hand. These men faced death, slavery, and betrayal, and still they found a way to quiet worry. Freedom through surrender. The paradox of control. Here lies the paradox. The more we try to control what is not ours, the less peace we have. But the more we surrender to what lies beyond us, the freer we become. The Stoics used metaphors. Imagine life as a voyage. You are the sailor. Your duty is to steer the ship, trim the sails, and hold the tiller with steady hands. But the wind, the waves, and the storms, these are not yours to command. Worrying about the storm does not calm it. Only skill and composure do. Another metaphor. Life is like a game of chess. You control your moves, but not your opponents. Worrying about their next move adds nothing to your strength. Focus only on the piece before you. The Stoic surrender is not weakness. It is power. It is saying, let fate do its work while I do mine. Stoic training, daily practices. The Stoics trained their minds the way soldiers train their bodies. To master worry, they practiced daily disciplines. Negative visualization. Each morning, imagine loss. A friend departing, wealth fading, health failing. This is not morbid. It is preparation. By rehearsing misfortune in thought, they reduced its sting in reality. Voluntary discomfort. Seneca would sleep on the floor, wear rough clothes, eat coarse bread, reminding himself, is this what I feared? When you taste discomfort willingly, worry about losing comfort loses its grip. Mindful pause. When worry rises, pause. Ask, is this within my control? If yes, act. If not, let it go. Daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal each night, reviewing his thoughts, catching worry before it hardened. Reflection is the mirror that shows us where the mind wandered. The view from above. Imagine rising above the earth, seeing nations, cities, and individuals as small specks. From this cosmic view, how trivial most worries appear. Through these exercises, worry was not erased, but mastered. The cost of ignorance. When worry rules. The Stoics warned of the cost of failing to master worry. A worried mind is a restless mind, enslaved to fortune. Seneca compared it to being tossed in a storm without a rudder. One moment fearing poverty, the next fearing loss of status, the next fearing death itself. To live in worry is to live in chains. It is to surrender freedom not to tyrants, but to phantoms of the mind. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And worry is perhaps the most subtle master of all. Closing reflection. What is truly yours? At the end of the day, the Stoics remind us, only one thing is truly ours, the will. We cannot control the length of our days, but we can control how we live them. We cannot dictate the opinions of others, but we can shape our own character. We cannot command fate, but we can command ourselves. So the next time worry arises, pause, ask, does this belong to me? If yes, act with courage. If not, release with grace. For in the end, freedom is not found in bending the world to our will, but in aligning our will with the world. And when you can do that, when you can live in the present moment without fear of what may come, then you have discovered the Stoic secret: how to stop worrying.